Hello everyone, welcome to my lecture on Unit 3 Topic 4 Break-Even Analysis. Break-even analysis is a technique used by the management in profit planning. As profit maximization is one of the major goals of any business, it is necessary for any business economist or a business firm to study the impact of changes in the internal factors such as cost, price and volume on profitability of the firm. So it is considering both the cost, volume as well as the profit. It is also called as, this particular concept is also called as CVP analysis, the cost volume profit analysis. So break-even analysis is a financial calculation that determines when a business product or services will generate enough revenue to cover its cost. That is total. It should attain this particular stage where the total revenue is equal to total cost. This point at which this happens is called as a break-even point. So production above this point results in profit and production below this point results in losses. It is shown in the left diagram which is displayed here. And also break-even analysis is also important for making future business plans and businesses at its, as it shows potential investors when they can expect to see a return on their investments. That is one of the importance of this particular technique. Next one is analyzing cost and evaluating profits at different sales volumes, and also understanding the pricing of their products better, so that will give them an edge to earn more revenue. Now coming to the analysis of this particular graphical diagram here. This is the origin. So quantity is represented on the x-axis and sales represented on y-axis, right? Now the TC curve starts from 0 because no revenue in the beginning. That is the point here, that is TC curve is starting from this origin, that is point O. TR curve. In the initial there is no profit or no revenue because there is zero production happening here, right? So TC curve starts from SC curve. Where is the TC curve? This is a TC curve which starts from here. Here. This AB line represents the fixed cost curves because that has to be that is indicated as a parallel line to the x-axis. Reason behind this is these are to be invested, the fixed costs are to be invested before your production activities are taken up. So the fixed cost can be related to your land, your building, the machinery that you are going to use it for your production purpose, right? So the TR curve intersects at TC curve. So TR curve, this is the intersection point. Here the total revenue is equal to total cost, that is nothing but your break-even point. This is a point of intersection of the total revenue and the total cost is your break-even point. The sales above this break-even point will bring profits, below this brings your losses. So when you drop a line perpendicular to the x-axis, this gives you the break-even quantity, and a line perpendicular to y-axis will gives you the revenue, that is sales here, right? So any quantity that is being sold beyond this point will keep generating the profit here. So this point of intersection keeps widening as you increase your sales beyond this break-even point. That is a clear indication that the firm is earning profits. So the angle formed here when the TC, that the total revenue is more than the total cost, that give rise to this particular angle that we called as angle of incidence. Because of lack of sufficient space, I'm writing only short form here, angle of incidence. So this angle of incidence, the angle formed between TR and TC. So the angle is narrow, the profits will be less. If the angle is narrow, the profits will be less, and if the angle is wider, profit will be more. The difference between the break-even sales and the actual sales is called as margin of safety. This is the point here. This is the break-even quantity, and this is a full capacity output. So let us denote here it as OM. So here OM will be your actual sales, OQ will be your break-even sales. So the difference between this break-even actual sales, that is OM minus OQ, will be your margin of safety. Assumptions of this particular technique: all costs are segregated into fixed and variable cost. Fixed costs remain fixed at any level of output because it has to be invested right before starting your production activities, and that's going to support your further business operations to certain extent. Selling price remains constant. There is no change in the level of technology, no change in the technology, and there is no opening stock and closing stock. Firm is producing only one variety of output. So break-even analysis technique or tool can be only useful when the firm is indulged in producing one single variety of a product or a service. Advantages of this is it helps in calculating required sales to earn desired profit. It helps in controlling cost. It helps in optimizing price fixation. It aids in comparing the efficiency of the different firms. The graph is very easy to understand, and the financial position of which helps us to understand the financial position of the company. Limitations of this particular concept: the theory considered only fixed as well as the variable cost and ignores the semi-variable cost. What are the semi-variable costs? That is the cost which tends to, for example, electricity charges. To certain extent they will be fixed, and beyond that certain extent the charge will be higher. Thus that kind of expenses similar to that will be considered as a variable expenses. So that are completely ignored when this analysis of this concept. A single chart cannot be of any use for the firms producing multiple products. So it is not used. It is not of any use when the firm is into producing more than one product. This theory assumes that no change in the technology, but the firms will be constantly upgrading the technology. This is a must and should for them to sustain in the market and to challenge the competition persisting in the market. It is not addressing the changes in government policies and general price levels in the economies which do play in the overall the operation of the business and thereby affecting the profitability of the firm. The formulae that are used for calculating break-even point in terms of units, in terms of value, right? In terms of unit, break-even point is equal to the fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit. Now, how is contribution margin per unit is calculated is selling price per unit, that is SP, minus variable cost per unit, that is VC. So this minus this will give you the contribution per unit, and the BEP in units will be the fixed cost which will be given in the data provided for us divided by contribution margin per unit. That can be ascertained by deducting or the difference between selling price minus variable cost per unit. Next one is BEP in value. BEP in value is fixed cost divided by contribution margin ratio, whereas contribution margin ratio can be calculated using the selling price per unit, variable cost per unit. So it is also called as and divided by SP. This is also called as PV ratio, profit volume ratio. How this profit volume ratio is arrived at? It is nothing but sales price minus the variable cost divided by selling price, right? So next one is margin of safety. Margin of safety is the number of units sold, that is actual sales minus break-even sales. Earlier just we have understood what do you mean by this actual sales and how we are going to consider this actual sales as well as the break-even sales. So the difference between these two aspects will give us your margin of safety. With this, I'll end up the session here. Thank you.